Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
And welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, first show of the 2018 calendar year. And got my co-host with me. I'm Dave Gabbard. One of your co-hosts with Minister of Propaganda for TWRA here in West Tennessee. You got Gene Smith sitting across from him. Before we get into this last segment, talk a little bit about next week's show. Larry's got, of course, Ron Wong and John Gordon will be in the studio with him. His guests will include Chris Lindenberg of Jean LaRue and Bobby Garland. Are you there, Larry?
I am here.
And what is that, a law firm?
No, that's not a law firm.
Okay.
That's fishing. And I've got a couple of surprise guests too. Next week, I'll try to hook up with Steve McAdams up at Kentucky Lake and get a little report from Marty Marbury for the new year. It's just hard to believe it's 2018.
That's right. So you got David Best, the primary tackle, scheduled to be.
Yeah, going to get David on to talk a little a little cold bass fishing weather, and then this 2018. It just seems like yesterday we were talking about Y2K.
Yeah.
And the world was going to end.
Yeah.
Well,
probably still a few generators for sale out there.
Yeah, I still got 200 pounds of peanut butter.
How can I follow that? But no, it's starting to get plenty of light. Rodney Owen is with me. As I said, he's watching on the left. I'm looking down this road on the right. There's a salt block down there about 100 yards that deer tracks all around it. Deer just love those salt blocks. I mean, you can put those out and, I don't know what their blood pressure is in a deer, but, I feel like sometimes going down there and licking it myself. But I've looked out this window and I've seen what looks like trees moving and deer moving and squirrels moving. It's and you guys, I know
nature
that
comes alive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the squirrels are out, the birds are following it around here. This is an area that it's you don't think about deer along Interstate 40, but golly, Fayette County's got wonderful deer herds. And this is a time that I just enjoy getting out and see the sunrise. Now, yes, it doesn't rise. I get up at 4 o'clock. It takes it a while to get up, just like me. But we're going to hang in here, and once again, it looks like it'll probably happen right off we go off the air.
Of course.
And if it does, Rodney's here with his video camera. We will let people know that if we do get a shot at anything, even though it's off the air, we're gonna take a video of it and see how nervous I get when I see a deer. I need to take one of my tranquilizers, one of those kind of things. But appreciate you guys sitting in for me. And then, like I said, next week, a little bit of winter fishing. I know you got a lot of things going on. Did you give away any of those?
Yes, we gave away both of the prizes today.
All right.
We gave away most of the prizes. Okay, that was Greg Ratner's voice. Right. And Greg will return to us full time starting next week.
All right.
We'll have Greg on. We appreciate Stuart Settles filling in for Greg in his 12 jobs. But we appreciate having Greg back next week with, and we kind of switched it around, guys. Next week will be John Gordon will be in with Greg and Ron and me next week. Then the week after that, Guy Trebo is going to join us as a co-host and talk about the website. And then we're going to push Bill Cooksey back to that fourth Saturday with Ron Wong, and then you guys on the first Saturday, and of course Charlie and the other guy with you. What's that guy's name? Eugene Joseph Smith.
That's him.
that's him. Will be on that fifth Saturday when we have that. But it's hard to believe the next time we come, it would be June. It'll be February. Like I said, the 54th annual Mid-South Sports and Boat Show will be in February. All the wild game dinners, folks will have all that for you because they are getting ready to crank up. We're privileged to have Mark Rose coming to my church on the 24th, and out at Piperton, that's where Rodney Owen goes to church. They're going to have our good friend, the gray-bearded adventurer himself,
all right,
Dale Sanders, will be speaking out at Piperton on March the 10th. And tomorrow's commercial appeal should have the top 5 new outdoor news stories of 2017 that I wrote with some help with some folks. And, of course, the number one news story, according to, in my opinion, and I know you guys there, is Dale Sanders. At 82 years old, walking doing that Appalachian Trail. Remarkable. He's older than Gene Smith.
Yes,
he's older than me. He's even older than Gabbard there.
And he still can outdo all of us.
And,
I don't know. I think I can get him in a sprint.
Well, anything you want to ask Daniel? Daniel and Hunter's on the line with us here. Anything you want to ask them?
Well, yeah. Let me say real quickly, Hunter. I know that this winter trout program. I wanted to ask you about that because the cold weather that we got. All that cold weather. What does that have any effect on the winter trout? Hey, Hunter.
Hey, there, Larry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can barely hear you.
Well, he's in the whispering mode. He was wanting to know what we were asking earlier. We talked when we had a little technical difficulty. Is this cold weather going to affect your stocking schedule for next week? Because I know that a lot of these small impoundments are froze over, and
right. Yeah, no, we've all got axes, and so we're going to chop holes, and we'll probably double up with personnel, to haul, just to make that effort work. So, but we don't have any intentions on changing our schedule. The only concern that we had was cold shocking the trout because
I've got a deer coming up the trail.
If we were hauling directly from Flintville hatchery, then their temperature is going to be about 10 degrees warmer. But fortunately for us, we're holding these fish in a raceway, and it's fed by a pond, so our temps are going to be the same. They're sitting right around 40 degrees right now, so we should be good to go.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we sure appreciate the update, and sounds like Larry's got a deer walking at him.
Well,
all right.
I think he went behind a tree. We're still waiting. He's getting ready.
And, while he's waiting, Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Well, this has kind of been a funny deer season.
There we go.
And
it has.
And let's see what we got Larry going here.
Larry's got a buck out in the field. He's behind a tree right now, but if he steps out a little bit, Larry's going to get a shot, about a 140-yard shot.
Okay.
But I see his antlers, but he's kind of in a tight spot, but we're sitting here waiting.
And, of course,
that's why they call it hunting.
That's why they call it hunting. But, next week, Daniel, we've got this private land, antlerless only hunt. I think, this the third year for it that we've had?
It is.
Get a lot of participation on that?
Coming down the road.
We do. Not as much as I thought that it might, but, first it took a little while to take off, and you still have people that, are out trying to harvest does on that private property in the Unadilla counties. But, there's still some of them a little skeptic to pull the trigger with the new antler restrictions.
Right.
They don't want to kill a buck by accident. So I think that's one reason why it's kept the numbers down. But there is a lot of people that do utilize it. If they're big buck hunting all through the deer season, they use that 5 days to try to manage their property and take the does off of the land.
Okay, well, let's take a second. I think Larry's got one walking towards you.
Hey, we got 3 bucks coming down the road, but they're coming towards us right now. So
okay,
we're going to have to wait till they turn broadside, maybe.
And, well, let them get as close as they can. I know Larry.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, let them come on. They're walking.
Okay.
They're standing at the end of the road.
And Greg just said we'll go past. We'll stay on the air. We've got the studio here. We've got control of the studio, and see if he does. So, but
right, here we go.
Okay.
I think he's broadside now. I think he got him. He twitched, ran down the road and into the woods. So we'll have to let you know later.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's Larry.
But
Great.
And
okay, guys, I'll have to let you know later. But
okay.
All right.
How many antler points did he have on?
I could not tell, but there was 3 of them, and this one went into the woods. At the very end of the road. I was on him, but we'll have to wait and see.
How far was he?
About 600 yards.
Okay.
No. About 125, 130 yards.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So,
Good shot.
We'll let everybody go to lroutdoors.com, and we'll have it posted on there.
All right.
Thanks. I got to go. You did hear it, didn't you?
Yeah, we heard
we
shot.
got it. We got it.
Okay.
All right.
We've made radio history
That's
there,
right,
folks.
that's right.
Larry finally connected.
I've been doing this show for 3 years, and we've been trying to do that, and that's the first time he's actually even shot at one.
Yeah,
on the radio.
exactly.
So that's why I said we're going as long as it takes for them deer to turn, because we're not missing this.
I guess we better get out of here now.
But Daniel, and, it's been the weather's been a little strange. We started off earlier, with really, really warm weather. I know the harvest totals were really, really down. And I know y'all are just now starting to look at data and everything. As the numbers caught up,
well, they're still behind a little bit, but like you said, you made a good point. This deer season's just been crazy. The first couple of weeks was 80 degree, 70 degree weather. You had a really big mass crop in the woods, so the deer weren't coming to the food plots and coming out in the fields where a lot of people hunt. And then now, the last week we've had sub-freezing temperatures, and I haven't went out. I've stayed in the house where it's been warm. So, and I still haven't even killed a deer this year. That's the first time in many years that I haven't. But of course, I was sick for 3 or 4 weeks there through deer season. But the numbers are still down. But I got to kind of looking at them, comparing them to last year. But I don't like to compare them from one year to the next, because as biologists, we look at trends over time, over 3 years, 5 years. And even though it's down, you get to looking, and even though there's a week left of the season, you're only about $6,000 lower this year.
Right.
And that's across the state. But, looking at totals, you still have, like I said, a week left. But, we're about 20,000 deer statewide lower than we were last year. But one thing people need to look at and realize is you don't want to continue having harvest records every year. You want it to stabilize and dip down one year, dip back up the next year.
And
so nothing to be alarmed about.
But I know next week, probably, a lot of these guys that's been seeing their big bucks on their trail cams and stuff, and been hunting out there, and they've had does walking all over them. We finish up Sunday, no more bucks. It's grocery time, out there.
That's
for
right.
the next 5 days. So, okay, we sure appreciate you joining us, and maybe
no problem.
Maybe Larry can go track that deer down.
There we go.
Okay.
Y'all guys have a good one.
Okay, Daniel Stanfield, TWRA Big Game Coordinator. And I hear music.
Yeah.
And Jeff's got it, or Greg's got us in there, and we'll close it out. What Larry always says, it never costs
an extra
cent to be a good sport. And God bless the USA.
Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time. Take the family, ask a friend.